What's up, everyone? My name is Kevin. We'll be working with our hips this time. So we're going to start off with a wide stance. So if you're not already standing or on the floor, go ahead and make your way there. And we're bringing our feet pretty wide here. So if you are standing horizontally on your mat, bring your feet off of your mat. We're just going to bring our hands to our hips and start to do some large hip circles here. Really, more than anything else, we're just looking to do an exploration of where it is that we feel tension in our hips. Sometimes a lot of us feel it on the inner hip, front of the hip, side of the hip, back of the hip. It's really individual to our personal lives here. Go ahead and switch directions with your hip circles. And if you feel a little bit silly, don't worry, so do I. We're giving ourselves as big of circles as we can. And again, just trying to find where the tension exists, if there is any. And this is also just a good exercise to do to have our hips warm. All right, and then when you feel complete with your hip circles, we're going to take this to a wide-legged forward fold. Turn your toes slightly inwards, heels out, and we're just going to dive down between our legs. Grab opposite elbows, let your head and your neck hang heavy. We'll start off with a little sway side to side. Sometimes it can be nice to bend one leg or straighten the other. And if you're lucky, you might even get a pop out of your back while we're at it. Go ahead and now lift your left hip as you dip your right hip down. So it's a very subtle hip rotation, but right hip is going down, left hip is up. And just give yourself a moment to stay here for about 3 breaths. Last one. Inhale back to center and then switch it out. So now you're going to lift your right hip as you lower your left. And it might not look like much, but hopefully it feels like a good stretch. We'll hold for 3 breaths. One more deep breath in, deep breath out. Inhale, bring your hips back to center, and then you can release your hands down to the earth. Inhale, halfway lift your torso, and then bring your feet a little bit closer, and then we're coming into a squat position, also known as horse stance. So we're lifting our torso now, toes out to the sides of your mat, heels inwards. We'll bring hands to heart center and just give ourselves a little sway side to side. Start to sit a little bit lower if you can. What we're looking for is hip engagement or wanting to warm up the muscles that we want to stretch. Also make sure your shoulders are drawn down and back so that we don't have any upper back tension. Swaying side to side, lift your toes off the ground if you want a little extra spice. And if you really want to play with fire, try lifting your heel, one or both heels off the earth as you're swaying side to side. It is not required. Whoo! Take a full breath in. Sit a little bit lower. Inhale, star pose, get big. And then just give yourself a little shake out. Maybe move all of your joints in your body. Wrists, fingertips, shoulders, elbows, hips. Move your knees around. And then right back into our wide-legged forward fold, toes in, heels out. Inhale, halfway lift your torso. Exhale, forward fold. This time, inhale, halfway lift. And we're gonna find our way to a high plank position. So if you need to reposition yourself on your mat, go for it. High plank is where we will meet. You can also drop down to your knees here if you'd like, but pull your belly button towards your spine. Push down into the floor with your arms and have a slight arch between your shoulder blades. Take a full breath in, full breath out, downward dog. Pedal out your legs, drive one heel to the earth as you lift the other. All right, bring your feet mats width distance. Press your chest back towards your thighs. Inhale, raise up to your tippy toes. And then dip your heels to the right side of the mat as you push your chest back towards your thighs. Deepen your breath. Inhale back to center, and then switch it out. Heels to the left as you press your chest back. Stay for a breath. Inhale back to center, tiptoes, and then exhale, heels to the earth. Inhale, find your way to a tabletop position. Come to all fours. And then just a simple fire hydrant pose. You're going to lift your right leg like a dog marking its spot on a fire hydrant, and then find some wide circles here. As big as you can get your leg and your hip, the larger the better. And it doesn't necessarily matter which direction you're going, because here in a moment we'll switch directions. Go ahead and switch. Make sure your breath is still with you. All right, and then let's switch legs. Right knee to the earth. Lift your left leg. Once again, like you're marking your territory. Deepen your breath. And switch directions. Go the opposite direction with your left leg. Breathe. All right. And then we'll set up child's pose. Bring your knees as wide as you can and sit your hips towards your heels. The wider you can get your legs, the better, but keep in mind we don't want to feel any pain here. Sink your hips towards your heels, deepen your breath, and relax your neck and shoulders. Here for 2. 1. All right. Slowly release. And then we'll meet laying down on our backs. Go ahead and switch your legs around to the front of your mat. Lay on your back. Once you have found your way to your back, bring a bend into your knees. We're setting up bridge pose. Inhale, lift your hips for bridge. Exhale, lower your hips back down. Again, inhale, lift your hips. Exhale, lower down. One more time, inhale, hips as high as you can get them. And then slowly lower down. And now, cross your right ankle over your left knee for reclined figure 4. Take your right hand and thread it through the hole that we've made. We can take a grip now behind our left quad. If you don't quite feel a stretch yet, take a grip on top of your left shin. That will help increase the intensity. And if you feel any pain in your knee, flex your toes towards your shin. That will help protect your knee. Draw your shoulder blades down and back and breathe. Pull a little bit tighter for 2. A little tighter for 1. You can release the bind and just return your left foot to the earth. So your right ankle is still stacked over your right knee. Now we're taking this into a twist, kind of a toppled pigeon, if you will. It's a right foot then topples down to the left side of the mat, and you should feel a piriformis stretch here, somewhere towards your right glute region. Some people feel it in different areas though. If you don't quite feel a stretch yet, you can always take your left hand to your right ankle and pull your legs a little bit closer towards yourself and deepen your breath. Last round. And if you feel drawn to stay longer, you're welcome to stay longer. Inhale, bring your legs back to center, and then we'll switch it out. Right foot to the earth. Now cross your left ankle over your right knee. Keep your toes flexed towards your shin and thread your left hand through the hole that we've made and take a grip behind your right quad. Draw your shoulder blades down and back. Deepen your breath. Last one. Okay, now release the bind with your hands and just return your right foot to the earth. Again, your left ankle will stay over your right knee, and we'll take a grip as you topple your legs to the right side of the room, doing your best to keep your left knee facing up towards the ceiling. Once again, if you feel any pain in your knee, flex your toes towards your shin, draw your shoulder blades down and back, and let's take 3 deep breaths together all the way in, all the way out. Again, full breath in, full breath out. Here for one more. Good stuff. Inhale, bring your legs back to center and slowly release your feet to the earth. Windshield wiper your legs side to side. We'll now find our way into bound angle posture. Bring your feet together, let your knees drop open wide. If you feel like you want some support underneath your legs, you can make 2 fists and place them underneath your thighs for a little extra support. You can also put blocks underneath your legs if you have access to those. But for now, just give yourself a few moments to breathe. Most of us, myself included, we spend a lot of time sitting nowadays, whether it's driving or for our job or for relaxation. And our hips are becoming quite a bit more closed than they were many, many years ago. So the idea here is that we're just trying to undo a lot of the sitting shape that is kind of a part of our daily routine. If you're able to sink a little bit deeper, maybe by removing some of the support, and then we'll take a few physiological sighs so that our body can accept the posture a little bit further. Take a full breath in. Extra sip. Big sigh. Again, full breath in. Extra sip. Big sigh. One more time, full breath in. Extra sip. Big sigh. And then we'll pause here for just a few more moments. Bring your attention to your hips. And notice as time and gravity are the tools here, rather than effort or force, or attempting to let the posture happen instead of making it happen. And a little bit of discomfort is normal here. If you start to feel cramping sensations, that too is normal. Don't feel like you have to bear through the cramps. Give yourself a moment to come back. And when you feel ready, bring your hands to the outsides of your legs, help your knees up and together. And then bring your feet to the edges of your mat. Let your knees knock together. Slightly tilt your pelvis up towards the ceiling so that you flatten your lower back on the earth and deepen your breath. Hug your knees into your chest. Give yourself a squeeze. And then we'll take this for a twist. Drop your knees over to the left and send your gaze over your right shoulder. And in case you are wondering, I thought this was about our hips, not about our spine. Why are we doing a twist? Well, there's a lot of connecting parts of our body that include the lower back as it relates to the hips and hamstrings. Really, everything is connected. And generally speaking, whenever we do a twist, we are addressing most of the connecting points in our bodies. So this is always a good thing to do. So if you ever practice on your own and you're wondering, what is the next good posture for me? Generally speaking, you can't go wrong with a twist. Take a full breath in. Full breath out. Again, breathe in. Breathe out. Let's go one more full breath in. All the way out. Inhale, bring everything back to center. Counter stretch by windshield wipering your legs side to side. And then we'll take this to the opposite side. Drop your knees over to the right and gaze over your left shoulder. Deepen your breath. All the way out. Inhale deeply. Exhale fully. One more time. Full breath in. All the way out. Inhale, bring your legs back to center. Counter stretch by windshield wipering your legs. And then if there are any final postures or wiggles or movements that you'd like to explore, feel free to. And if you are ready for rest, we'll bring heels to the edges of the mat, let your toes splay open to the sides of the room, and let your arms rest by your sides. Give yourself a few moments to wiggle around and get as comfortable as you can. And allow yourself to find some stillness. Yogis, we're going to close our practice here today, so you're welcome to stay in your Savasana, your resting position, for as long as you'd like. This sequence was not necessarily exhaustive as far as lots of options with hip opening goes. So if you feel like you ever want to explore more, we have lots of other options with the Yoga Studio app. Just give hip openers a look. And we've got lots of sequences there for you. I hope that your hips feel better, and I hope you have a lovely rest of your day. Cheers. Peace.